All right, we are back on page number 11 again for today. And today in the past, we've already done figuring out kind of the preliminary work, finding the area of the base, talking about that W value, talking about the perimeter of the base, and we actually found volume in our previous lesson. Today's lesson, we are going to incorporate that surface area formula. And the surface area is going to take into account the fact that we need to add up the area of all the different surfaces that are on our prism. The way that this surface area formula does that is the formula looks like this. It's perimeter times the width plus 2 times the base. So the perimeter times the width is basically saying, using this outline again, I'm going to just kind of pick a different color here. Sorry, I'm trying to keep everything a little bit organized for you. The perimeter times the width is basically saying, hey, we're going to take this area and pretend there's like a rubber band around the outside of your base right here on the very edge. And what it does is it takes that and slides that rubber band all the way down to the other end. What you are in theory doing is you are covering the space up here on the top. You're covering the space that is down there on the bottom, and you're also covering that rectangular piece that's on the side by taking the perimeter and multiplying by that W value. So that PW piece is what is taking care of all of our rectangles. So then the only thing that we have to include is then taking care of those two bases, the one that's on the front and the one that's on the back. So this PW section is all of our rectangles. And these two bases are really just our bases then. So you can see why when we did our preliminary work, we figured out the perimeter, we figured out that W, and we also found the area of our bases. So our surface area formula is pretty easy at this point because our perimeter we found to be 36. Yesterday's lesson, we talked about the W being 6, and we're going to add 2 times the area of the base, and the base was 54. So now we're going to chunk this into the two separate pieces. So we're going to do 36 times 6, which will give me 216. 2 times 54, which is going to give me the 108. And we're going to add those two pieces together, giving us a total surface area of 324 inches squared. Keeping in mind, surface area is an area, so it's a two-dimensional thing. Remember, this represents the flat surface here if we were to unfold this. So we have 324 square inches for our triangular prism. Same thing is going to happen in example number 2. When we do the perimeter times the W, it's like we're going to be taking the rubber band, starting at the top of the circle, and moving it downward. That's going to give us the area of that rectangle that actually surrounds those two bases then. So our surface area formula, PW plus 2B. So for surface area, we're going to plug in. Our perimeter is 62.8 times our W value was 16 plus 2 times our 314 for our two bases because one base was 314. So the first part I'm going to do is the 62.8 times the 16. That's going to give me a surface area or surface of 1004.8. And then I'm going to do the 2 times the 314, which will give me 628. I'll then go and add those two things together. And my total surface area for this cylinder is going to be 1,632.8 square yards. So that's how that one would work. On page number 12, we're going to follow the same exact thing here. So I'm going to swap out colors. So we have surface area is equal to PW plus 2B. So our perimeter here, we found out to be 46. Our W value was 7. And we're going to do 2 times the B value, which was 192. So for surface area, if I do 46 times 7, that'll give me 322. And 2 times the 192 is going to give me 384. Adding those back to each other, I get surface area is equal to 416 square inches then. For our last example for today, again, we're using the same surface area formula, so PW plus 2B. Surface area is going to equal our perimeter on our trapezoid here was 29 times our W value was 6, and 2 times our area of our base, which was 28. So if I do 29 times 6, my surface area is going to be 174, and 2 times 28 is going to give me 56. Adding those two together, my total surface area for this trapezoidal prism is 230 centimeters squared. So you can see it's kind of nice that we've done all the preliminary work here. It makes finding the surface area a little bit easier. But if you are starting from scratch, you know what things you're going to need to find. You're going to need to find the perimeter, you're going to need to find the area of the base, and you're also going to need to identify that W value. So once you have those things, you can plug them all right into your formula, and it makes it pretty easy to be able to calculate the surface area of any given right prism.